Hi, it's Linda Tan Spicer here. Welcome to my channel. In my previous video on Think, Feel, Act, I talk about how we can manage life when it throws a curveball at us. Well, life just threw a curveball at me when I was told by a doctor that I suffered from an eye condition that could potentially lead to blindness. In fact, I've this condition for a while, but I just didn't notice it. This news caught me completely by surprise. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 strategies I used and the lessons I've learned to overcome my fear and coming to terms with this newfound reality of mine. My doctor said I was very lucky to have discovered the problem and got me started on treatment immediately to halt the process of any further vision loss. This is a chronic eye condition which I will need constant treatment for the rest of my life in order to ensure that I keep my vision. Now, I was obviously in shock when the doctor told me all of this, and fear set in very quickly. My thoughts just went wild. I found myself creating all these what-if scenarios in my head. I love painting. What if I cannot paint anymore? What if I lose my sight and I cannot be independent anymore? I was just terrified. Then I thought to myself, this is so ridiculous. I still can see. I can still function. I ought to just snap out of it. I needed to change all my thinking and press the pause button to breathe. Remember, we are the ones that create our fear, and only we have the power to dissolve it. This is certainly a new chapter in my life, a new routine, a medical routine. How would I narrate my story from here? I felt that I needed a phrase, something that I can say to myself over and over again to affirm myself, thoughts that will calm me and give me inner peace and hope. So, let me share with you the first strategy that I use to help me do just that. Create a personal mantra. So, what is a mantra? Mantra is a word from Sanskrit. Man literally means mind. Tra is instrument. So, mantra is an instrument of the mind. Its purpose is to provide motivation and encouragement to help us focus our mind through repetition. Now we can observe that we all have repetitive mental thought processes or self-talk. It is also known as our internal dialogue. There is a common saying, you are what you eat. I like to say, you are what you think. So what we think about ourselves and say to ourselves repeatedly over time forms our behavior. They literally create who we are and who we are becoming. Repetition is powerful for good and for bad. Now, how can we create our own personal mantra? Well, you can first journal your thoughts. I have the habit of journaling, and I like to do that early in the morning. That's what I would recommend. Then use the free writing technique to just write down everything that comes to your mind. I found myself writing about 2 characters, Riva and Leva, my right and left eye. Both were speaking about their fears, their regrets of what they have lost, and they were asking for Linda not to get angry with them. The 3 of them had a long conversation. Then fear steps in and justifies why I should listen to him. He was disguising himself as caution. Now this was interesting because there is a difference between fear and caution. Fear holds us back and stops us from moving forward. It paralyzes us and grips us and holds us hostage, preventing us from attaining our hopes and dreams. Caution, on the other hand, says, stop, think about it, assess the situation, then choose carefully your next move. Finally, faith came along and spoke with love, hope, peace, and trust. Both fear and faith also had a long conversation together. It felt so good to be able to pour out all my thoughts in writing. I had given the different voices in my head characters and names. Each character took turns to speak, and they listened to each other. Then the next day, I would review my entries and further clarify things with the characters. For example, the way I clarified with Fear that he is not cautioned and he is not welcome. It was such a therapeutic experience for me. And I strongly encourage you to pick up the habit of journaling. Without overanalyzing, without personal judgment, just let your thoughts flow freely and write it all down. Can you imagine if you don't? All our thoughts and different voices in our head are all fighting for your attention at the same time. It can get very chaotic and messy in our head. It can leave us very confused, overwhelmed, and mentally tired. But when we write it all down, we are allowing ourselves time to process and organize our thoughts. And in doing so, we gain much more clarity of our situation. Then, drill down to what speaks to you most. Spend time reflecting on what you have written. What is most important to you, and where do you want to focus first? Once you have a sense of what really matters, then turn it into a declarative statement. As for me, because I was playing so many worst-case scenarios in my head, I needed to stop paying attention to them, stop playing those dramas in my head. I wrote in my journal 2 big words, "Don't drama." Also, I needed to replace my fear with peace, hope, and courage. As a person who believed in God, I was hearing God's voices in the background and I needed to bring God up front. And I wrote, "My God will take care of me. My God will restore, regenerate my eyes, and He will give me rest." I combined these 2 thoughts to become my mantra. Finally, repeat your mantra daily. Spend time every day repeating your mantra out loud or silently as you are sitting or walking. Also, visualizing your mantra in your thoughts. As for me, it goes something like this. I say to myself, "Don't drama." I demand my negative thoughts to stop. Then I take a deep breath and I close my eyes and I recite my mantra. My God will take care of me. I visualize God's hand and love upon me. I take another deep breath and say, my God will restore and regenerate my eyes. I visualize the medication doing its work. Then I take another breath and say, He will give me rest. I visualize myself being calm and resting in God's arms. I repeat my mantra every day, and gradually my fear became smaller and smaller, giving way to my mantra. This works for me. You can do what is comfortable for you and what makes sense for you in your situation. So, the lessons I've learned here is that a personal mantra is an affirmation statement that motivate and inspire us. They are words that we want to live by. We use our personal mantra to help retrain our thoughts to focus on positive things, achieve stillness and peace. Strategy 2. Find a friend to journey with you. Don't close yourself in. You don't have to struggle alone. Athletes have coaches. Students have teachers. Sometimes friends. Even if they have no expertise in the area you are struggling with, they can still provide the support that you need to help you face your fear. Upon learning about my condition, I reached out to a very good friend of mine, Kim Chin, whom I've known for more than 20 years. I just needed to talk, to have a sounding board, to process my thoughts. Each time when we met, I shared with her all my fears, concerns, dreams, and hopes. I also share with her my mantra and how I intend to live by my words. To me, it is really important that I feel that I'm not alone on this journey. This is a very simple strategy, but an important one. So, don't walk alone. Find a friend. Get help. Talk about it, and you might find that they are not as scary after all. It is only when we take the courage to bring fear out into the open that we can begin to overcome it. So, the lessons I've learned here is to be brave is to be able to say, help. I've also learned that you are at your strongest when you dare to show your weakness. Asking for help is not giving up. It is refusing to give up. Strategy 3. Reach out to help others. In the first week of my diagnosis, I was taken aback when Kim Chin suggested visiting a common friend of ours suffering from dementia. Now, she was very aware that I was still trying to let my news sink in, but she thought it might be good for me to get out and do something different. I must say, I didn't feel up to it when she first asked me. But when I went home to think about it, I thought it might be a good idea to pull my focus away from my own issues and instead be there for someone else. Kim Chin told me I'll be a blessing to others. But you know what? As it turns out, I was the one who was blessed. The kindness of the nurses, nuns, and the other volunteers was just so heartwarming. One of the residents asked me to sing them the song I Have a Dream by ABBA. As I was singing, I realized the song was actually speaking to me. I have a dream, a song to sing, to help me cope with anything. I looked at the residents. I saw their struggles and their smiles, and I was so encouraged. I had forgotten all my worries and my problems, and I was so uplifted. And the lessons I've learned in this strategy is that when we stop focusing ourselves for a while and take time to help others, this shift in focus of our mind and our energy can help create in us a fresh sense of renewal. It also helps us to see that there are people who are in a less healthy situation than us. It reminds us to be more grateful, to value what we have more. Now, you can also use these strategies to overcome the fears and the challenges in your life. Start by creating your own personal mantra. Affirm yourself and keep your thoughts focused on what is positive. Journal your thoughts. Drill down to what speaks to you most. Then turn it into your personal mantra that you can live by and repeat your mantra daily. Find a friend to journey with. Don't walk alone. Allow others to help you. When you do that, you're being kind to yourself. And lastly, reach out to help others. Take time to focus your attention on others. It will help you to keep things in perspective as you extend beyond yourself to the people around you. And in the process of helping others, you will help yourself too. In life, there are many ups and downs. As for me, there is more to learn and discover about my condition and the various treatment options that will be available in the future. In fact, I've just done 2 eye surgeries and I'm recovering very well. This is my first post-surgery painting. This painting has a deeper meaning for me. I now have a greater appreciation of my pair of eyes and the gift of sight. Please take care of your eyes. Just like the way you go for your dental checkup yearly, do the same for your eyes. I will continue to do whatever I can do and never cave into my fear. And I will keep helping others in whatever capacity I can provide. That's all I have for you today. Do share your thoughts in the comments and share with me your mantra so that I'll be encouraged to. Thank you for watching.